Yo, we recording. What's up, everybody? It's Black Cannabis Week. It's your guy JoJo Simmons representing 3 is 4, and I'm here with some good friends of mine from 40 Tons and Happy Hound CBD. I got CV, my brother Corvain Cooper in the building. I got L'Oreal in the building, and I got Rihanna in the building from Happy Hound CBD. But besides names, I want you all to, or each of you, to introduce yourself and let us know who you're with, what company you're representing, and kind of let us know what you guys got going on in the cannabis space in a brief, quick overview. So let's start with you, CV.
So right now, I'm the co-founder and chief brand ambassador of 40 Tons. And also, I'm about to be an author of Look Into My Eyes coming soon. And we're working on a project on the docuseries. But as of right now, I'm an activist too, because I have to speak for the voiceless, for people that can't speak for themselves, that are currently incarcerated for cannabis crimes. And, just the people that are just left behind when you're doing this time, because people are not understanding that this is $1 trillion, billion-dollar industry right now. And people can still go to jail federally for marijuana crimes today, and somebody has to speak on it.
So real quick, before, I know we don't have much time, but before we go into L'Oreal, can you tell people why that maybe don't know who you are, Corvain? Tell people why you advocate for people that are in prison for cannabis.
Okay, I advocate, basically, I was serving 9 years on a life sentence. And I was let out by the last administration, by the Trump administration, on his last 2 seconds in office, 2 minutes in office. And I had to do something with my second chance. So I got a second chance at life where some people don't, like Parker Coleman, Evan Rubies, Muhammad Tahir. Some people are not getting a second chance at life. And I have to do something with the second chance that God gave me. And I have to speak and have to use it for a purpose. So I have a purpose, and that's what I have to use it for. First, I have to get all the marijuana people home. And then secondly, we have to have a second chance to do something properly with it. That's why you can go to 40tons.co right now. You can see our career fairs. So it's not about just getting out of jail. It's about starting their life over and getting them a job and getting them on the right road and getting their resumes done and getting their haircuts and getting them some suits and getting their makeup done and getting the things that they need done in order to get their life really in order, not just get out of jail, because anybody can get out of jail. So we just want to get everybody on the right path, and that's what I've chose to do.
Amazing. L'Oreal, let us know your name, and I gave him your name, first name, but let us know, what you do in the cannabis space and, what you're here representing on Black Cannabis Week.
Yeah, certainly. Happy to be here. I am L'Oreal with 40 Tons. I am co-founder and CEO. I represent the women that are left behind, the wives, the girlfriends, the partners, the sisters that are left behind when your loved ones have to go to jail for cannabis, nonviolent cannabis offenses. We are an impactful brand. We are purposeful, and we are doing the work. We are on the boots, on the ground, doing the work. And it is a lot of work. We've got to bring these almost 40,000 nonviolent cannabis offenders home. Most of them all look like us, Black and brown folks.
We working.
Yeah. So, like Corvain said, through various projects and platforms, we have our career conferences.
We're going to Can of Christmas too.
Yes, we have our foundation, Can of Christmas, helping those children that have parents locked up for nonviolent cannabis offenses, giving them a Christmas, which 3 is 4 has also been a part of. So this is pretty organic, this whole entire relationship, and us sitting up here chatting with you today. So yeah.
I mean, I like that you use the word organic, because that's kind of how I do all my, I guess you would call them interviews, but not interviews. They're organic conversations with people that I know, people that I don't know, people that I'd like to know. So I appreciate that, L'Oreal. Rihanna, let me know, Happy Hound CBD. Tell me a little bit more about that. Tell me more about yourself.
Yes, so my name is Rihanna Young, originally from about 15 minutes from Catalyst, Normandy. Grew up in LA, live in New York now, and I had my own experience with my dog where, she was hit by a car, and that was really traumatic for me, for my family, and, making sure that she could get back to her best self wasn't available at the time. There was no CBD for pets. And so I wanted to come out with my own Black-owned, woman-owned CBD pet brand, Pet Care and Wellness. The pet care and wellness space is as you would expect. So color to it, bringing that feminine touch to it, but also bring high quality cannabinoids, high quality ingredients, human grade, and really tasty, beneficial things that you wouldn't normally see in like a pet store or online.
Yeah, and let me tell you this, JoJo. Speaking on organic or continuing on that topic, Rihanna and I have actually met prior to us being on Black Cannabis Week right now, because we were in a cohort when we first started off building our brands. We were in a cohort, and that was amazing. And here we are back at it again, still doing what we love to do, and keeping it positive and keeping it real for the folks. So yeah.
I'm loving it. I love that you come in a different perspective in the CBD cannabis space where you're catering to the animals, and it's needed. You know what I'm saying? Like I have my daughter. I'd say it's my daughter's puppy, but she's a family puppy. It's cool to experiment and kind of see what they have out there for pets, and I think that what you're doing is amazing things, and I think it's needed in the world for sure. So it's great talking to you guys. Let's get into some quick questions. Like I said, let's make it organic. It's Black Cannabis Week. It's a big week. Obviously, we're all people of color, and we're in the cannabis space. I'm in content, CVs, and advocating and other things. You guys, I just think that it's very interesting for us to be in this space because we've been I guess we haven't been able to benefit off the plant. We've been locked up for it, but we haven't been able to benefit, when it comes to financially or kind of just being at the table. But I had a couple questions for you guys when it comes to just being in the space. And my first thing was, can you provide an overview of the supply chain process, like from seed to sale, or any sustainability, eco-friendly practices? How does it go down? Because I would love to know how the supply chain process goes down.
You can take this one, L'Oreal.
Who wants to take it? I mean, it's whoever wants to take it. This is whoever wants to take it.
I think we can all speak on it, but you
Yeah.
can go first.
Okay. So the supply chain can be tumultuous. I'll say that. You've got to get all your ducks in a row. You've got manufacturing. You've got distribution. You've got your minimum quantity orders that you must meet. You have to have a great product. You've got to, deal with your growers. For us, with our flour and our vapes and our edibles. So it is a constant grind. You have to know, I would say you have to know a little bit about every single step of the way, every single step of the supply chain, because it matters. The cost of goods are constantly rising. Hello, inflation right now is beep, beep, so we're all having to deal with that and just try to think of creative ways to think outside of the box. I would say that, us being together and building together and always being able to lock arms is very important. You never know who you're going to need. Like, hello, we're here today, and I've met her years ago, known him for 27 years. But, the license holder here at Catalyst Normandy, where we're filming at today, met him a couple years ago. I had my birthday party at his Puff and Paint place, which is featured behind us. So, we are better in numbers. And I think just having an open mind about all the things that are required to be in this business. And you have to have a tough skin for sure, right? And that's for, that's my 2 cents for this supply chain and how crazy it can be, and probably want to get a vertical so that's easier for you to, like a one-stop shop versus piecemealing it out, the different avenues that you will require when you want to be into this business.
I think that was a little bit more than 2 cents.
It was probably like 99 cents. You're right.
It was like $1. You gave us $1 worth of knowledge. We'll take that. We'll take that.
I just want to add just a little 2 cents to that. Okay. Like if you're starting a brand, right, and you think that you need $1 million or you think you need all this type of stuff, which it costs us a lot of money to get this right.
It does cost a lot of money.
But if you're not vertically integrated, I would say start at one store, right? Build up at that one store, right? Do your giveaways, do your this, do your that, do your PADs. Like get to that one store, get to know those budtenders, move your product out of that one store first. Let that store make its noise first, and then other stores will follow, right? So just start at one store. Please don't try to do what we done. 50 stores. It's a lot of work. And they're all different places. So don't. Start at one store, build there, then go to 2 stores, and go to 3 stores, go to 4 stores. Just take it one step at a time and get the one store under control first, and then move your way up. I think it's a good idea, actually.
To your point, I feel like I took the advice that you guys took for yourselves, where you're building the plane, flying the plane, and navigating at the same time. So Happy Hounds, supply chain, we formulate and co-manufacture all of our products with really great co-packers we're working with, from packaging to filling to actually getting the product out there. We're self-distributed in 70 retailers across the tri-state. And
Wow.
Self-distributed, I mean, it's me getting in my car and selling and pitching the product to all these individual retailers. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it at the end of the day, because you can do the demos and you can go into the stores and you can really push your product in that sell-through and those reorders, and just when you're doing better than your competitor on the shelf, I mean, there's no better feeling.
Yeah, and
Right.
ultimately what we want to do is build generational wealth, right? Like,
Yes, that's what it's about.
Sale by sale, you
Yeah.
gotta build it.
So I have a question, Rihanna. So you said you do everything in-house, everything self. So have you faced any challenges in maintaining a consistent supply of products in the industry? And how have you overcome them, if you have?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you. It's in the beginning, it was almost constant an issue of selling out. I mean, at certain points, I was buying product back from retailers to service online orders. That's, I mean, if that doesn't tell you something. But now, you find better partners. You're a little wiser than you were when you first started, and you know what to look for and what to avoid. And I think that, asking lead time, from the time that I order, how long until I receive the product, making sure that's in the contract, making sure you own the formulations in the contract. Just, there are things that, when I went into business first, I would have never even known to ask about. And now I won't leave the table without having them in writing.
Right. No, I agree. L'Oreal, CV, anything to say on that? Have you guys faced any issues?
She was talking about business, because when people are getting to the cannabis industry, they're not knowing that every time this bag moves or every time someone touches it, you have to pay for somebody to touch it. So I don't know if that's going on. I haven't been in this many different business. I've been in fashion, I've been in this, but I haven't been in different business where, okay, you touched it, you have to get paid. You touched it, you got, every time your bag is touched, that's another person that has to get paid, right? So, it's a real delicate business to get into, right? So you have to first want everyone to do their homework.
Yeah, do your homework.
Before you pull your money from the house, or before whatever it is that you're getting your money from, before you get your loan, or whatever it is that you're doing, that you're borrowing from a family member, whatever it is that you're going to do, please do your homework before getting to the cannabis industry. Make sure that first of all, it's an overcrowded industry too. So it's, especially in California, where it's super, super overcrowded. It's a million stores. It's more cannabis stores than liquor stores.
Saturated market.
So it's a saturated market.
It's a very saturated market, and I think people need to understand that, just like any other business, cannabis it's the real deal, and you need to take it serious. You need to come in there wanting to learn, wanting to study, wanting to know what to know. Like Rihanna said, she used to not know what to ask. Now she doesn't want to leave the room without having all of that written down, because it's a lot to take in. But it's just like any other business. It's like getting into merch. It's like getting into anything in this world. You need to know your stuff, and you need to know that it's going to cost a lot of money, and there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. So
and you got to understand this, as we talk about black cannabis, you got to know that the black market, right? So then you have in this industry, it started off in the black market, right? So you're stepping into an industry where you're constantly going to get bootlegged, and you're constantly, once your bag gets big, then they're going to have the same exact bag with better weed, with more weed. Actually, they're actually going to give the person more weed than you're actually giving them. So, that's going to be hard. It's going to be a tough process for you to get somebody to come into the store. You have somebody right across the street on the corner selling it.
Right. I mean, you're right. I mean, being, speaking about Black Cannabis Week and being black in cannabis, can you guys each speak to the significance of being a black-owned cannabis business and the impact it has on the industry?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's kind of more like a new thing, right? Where at first they I believe this is what happened. The industry came in as not a black industry, right? And then it came with all the backlash of, wait a minute, you got all these, you got the black people in jail, you got, then, okay, let's give them a social equity license. Like, let's let them in the game. Let's spoon feed them, give them this. People didn't know what they were doing. So some people got these licenses and stuff like that. That's what I mean by do your homework. You get educated first. Then they sold their license and they sold this and, and it's still all the, it's supposed to be all these social equity stores, right? And then, when you look at the percentage, most of them sold their license, right? So there's not that many stores actually that are actually physically owned, right? So I just feel that people need to do their homework way more, because I felt like they spoon fed us to get us in the industry, and now we have to fight for an industry that was already physically ours, right? And because you can't build this industry without the How Highs, without the Mary Janes, without the Chronic album, without the, all the things that made this industry big, without having to promote an industry and just one day say it's legal, and now you have 1,700 stores, or you have 15,000. You can go worldwide. Right. Without something that even had any advertisement, because the advertisement came from when we were being able to sell weed on the sidewalk. Like we were sitting basically physically promoting this, so it came with a lot of hood promotion and a lot of music and movies and stuff like that, and Cheech and Chong and stuff like that is what made this thing popular.
Yeah, and I totally agree with the black aspect of cannabis, us being in it, us bringing our products. I mean, you look at 40 Tons packaging. I mean, that is...
Oh, it's intentional.
It's intentional.
Right? The chains and Corvain's initials and just the bondage that we've had to kind of crawl out of. And I take this cannabis industry as just another opportunity for us to shine, for us to prove ourselves, our worth. Yes, it's a lot of work again, but it's fulfilling, and it will be as long as you continue this journey. So,
yeah, and I think it's a lot of problem solving, and especially in the beginning. I mean, it never ends, but it's just problem solving, and like you just get over one, you go to the next, and you think of creative, and you surprise yourself. Sometimes it's like, how did I do that? How did I get out of that? How did, even looking at other brands, like, how did they do that? So it's
now, being a Black-owned brand, right? And, have you had to face any challenges of how you kind of had to approach business, or how you kind of had to, is there anything that's influenced you, the way you kind of like move in your business, and how do you get things kind of going? Because, like you said, we are held back a little bit, it's unfortunate. Sometimes that's our skin color. Sometimes we're just not part of the group of people that, I guess, put the things here. Have you guys faced any challenges being a black owned brand? And if you have, has it influenced your way to deal with certain businesses and brands?
It's kind of like, okay, say if we go to these conferences, right? So we go to these big old conferences, and then we're like the only black brand there, right? Right, or maybe it might be one or two other, and you filled with, it's like 80 other brands that's not black owned, right? So that's a challenge just for within itself, because now you're in a soft battle of
You feel like they're looking at you differently, like.
Yeah.
You guys, it's like the high school I went to, right? I went to a predominantly white school, and it was like 3 black kids. Like, that's what it felt like. Like, it's like 5 black kids. And that's, I kind of put that to the same comparison of, we're getting looked at a little bit different. We're getting looked at a little bit funny. How are they here? Why are they here? What do they do? Have you guys dealt with that? Especially you, Rihanna, and what you do, Happy Hound CBD. It's not, you don't sell, weed or anything. You're, selling to the pets. Have you felt that vibe, or have you felt like you've had to approach things differently?
Yes. I mean, when you look at the demographics of pet owners, it's definitely, younger. You know what I'm talking about.
You can see, it's cool. Whites, it's cool, man. We love everybody, but if it's usually younger, 25, white women that like to walk their dogs. I understand that, you know what I mean. And that's not anything that we're saying in a racist way. We're just saying that we're looking at what the demographic is for your business, and as any business owner, people need to know when you do start a business, find out what your demographic is, who you can sell to, and who's going to be interested in your product. So that's actually a good conversation in this conversation, but please continue.
Yeah, and who's going to have the money to pay for it? I mean, you know, to think about, you know, where are products selling, where are people caring about? I mean, I've been asked so many times when I'm doing events, doing pop-ups, doing things, oh, so you work for the company. Even when I'm selling to retailers, oh, another rep. I'm like, and sometimes I let them believe it because, you know, some of these
I've been through it too. We've been through it too.
I don't really care if you like me. I'm trying to get in. So yeah, no, it's a lot of that, but it's also positioning the brand as young, as woman-owned, and that really connects and translates. And Black women-owned, you know, I'm in New York City. You know, people are used to buying, and they really want to buy into, I think, change. They do. And the pet industry is very, very not Black. And, you know, I went to a distribution show a couple weeks ago, and I was the only Black person there. Not one of two or three, no, the only. And that's how it is. But I think me being there, me bringing that change, me showing that we can do it. You know, there are other Black-owned pet brands out there. We're starting to connect, and we're starting to kind of create our own ecosystem. And really, I think bringing that to the forefront is so important, because when you think about the kind of products Black people create, it's usually a necessity. It's usually something that is better than what is currently on the market. And we really take the time to make sure it's great. So.
Right. No, I love that. I have a question for you, because I don't really need 40 tons answers, because I know they do this with the Level Up conference. What have you done in your organization to promote inclusion and diversity? You know, have you done, you know, events? Have you, you know, you mentioned other Black brands that you've met, that you know, work with. What have you done to promote that within your organization?
So I would say being the Black face of my brand and going into spaces is kind of how I really promote that, you know, showing that we can be business owners and really come through and follow through and do what we need to do to be on shelves. I do a lot of events with other Black women-owned brands in New York, you know, as a force together, especially in cannabis. And I really just like to show Black pet ownership. I think it's something, when you think about how the rescues are, you're really a lot less likely to get a dog if you're Black or brown. And so bringing our faces, our stories to these rescue organizations, to, you know, pet stores, to the forefront, you know, bring it. And I think once you get a little successful, you can start really pushing your weight around, but you got to get your foot in the door first. Yeah. You're on mute.
I don't know why it muted, but I think in any business, marketing is more than half the job. And I wanted to kind of get into that, especially being Black in the cannabis space. It's a little harder for us to even get our products on the shelf sometimes. But what about marketing? What do you guys do in order to market your product and stand out from the rest, especially being, obviously, we're Black owned, so we can always use Black owned, right? But Black owned can get us in the door, but we need something to keep us in the door, or something to show people why do they need the product that we're giving them. What do you guys feel about marketing, and how do you guys go about it in this space?
I think you said it like at the beginning, like, so every time you see me, I'm gonna wear 40 tons. So I'm never gonna not have my brand on most of the 80% or 90% of the time, right? So first it has to start with merch. So first you have to see it, right? So then second, we have the Tons Talk, so the podcast. You have to find another avenue in order to grab their attention, like how L'Oreal came up with the Can of Christmas, right? So that's for the 40 Tons Foundation, to show, you know, what are we doing with the funds? The funds are going strictly to the prisoners' parents. If she's representing the parents, then the first thing she has to do was give back to the parents that she's representing, that were in the same position that she were in.
It's constantly marketing, JoJo. It's constantly ahead of the curve. You know, with our, to chime in on the Prisoner Give Back program, we've got rolling trays that feature, you know, several of the prisoners that we're advocating for on our website. You know, happy to report a couple of them are actually home, you know, so, you know.
So now we got to figure out how to do their tray, because they actually made it home.
Yeah.
You know,
you know, staying relevant, you know, doing things with 3 is 4, you know, with
Right.
folks, you lending your celebrity on this platform. It's constantly locking arms so that we can just grow bigger and better. And if you want to chime in, anybody else?
Yeah, I think collaboration is the most important thing. You said us working together. That's what gets the word out. Is you guys get to use our fan base, we get to use your fan base. They come together. It's a whole big party. Please let us know, Rihanna. How do you approach your marketing in your space?
So I have like a 4 or 5 prong approach. You know, we can't do the social media, not as, you know, I'd say it's events. You know, I meet pet parents where they are. I go to like probably sometimes 2 events a weekend, but at least once a week, I'm somewhere physically selling my products, setting up, talking
Love
to people, doing demos in the retailers we're in. So that's helping with the product. But also, it's letting them know, like, hi, I'm the founder. I'm the person that created this. And I feel like that has a really strong connection with my demo and my customer base. Then we also do a lot of work with influencers, partnering with different rescue organizations, we partner with 12 rescue organizations in 18 months, partnering with influencers that really are well thought of in the pet space, and sharing our products with them. You know, it costs money to ship and it costs money to you know, make the product, but at the same time, the value that I get back from sharing it, collaborating with us, I get to their followers, they get to mine, and both of us grow. I mean, that's invaluable. And I would say, lastly, is a lot of talking. You know, you really can't get a brand out there unless you're talking to people like this, like today. So just just taking advantage of all the opportunities that come your way and seeking out and making your own is really important.
No, yeah, I think what you just said was very important. Is just like, and you said it in the beginning, kind of where you're like, I go with the people that align with what I'm trying to do. So you might go with the social media influencer that is known for having a pet, and people are, you know, interacting with them for pets. And I think a lot of people don't understand the businesses. Just because they have a whole lot of followers doesn't mean that they're going to align with what's going to sell for you. You need to make sure you're aligning yourself with people that have the same consumer base and the people that have the same kind of demographic as you, and then you work. You know, that's when you invest, and that's when you partner with the people that have the same alignment. Like 40 Tons, 3 is 4. We align in so many different things because we're here advocating. We want to do great things, and we also want to cover Corvain's story because it's an amazing story, which we'll get into that more in the future. But it's just like, you need to align yourself with the right people, especially when you're trying to market. You know what I mean? So that's an amazing thing. We have like 3 minutes, but I want to get like 2 more questions because I know people want to know about data and analytics. How does data and analytics play into your businesses on how you see sales?
Now,
how you track sales, really?
I'll say not actually in tracking sales, but you got to build data if you're any kind of company. Like if you're Apple was built on data, right? So like, okay, say if we have our career fairs, the first thing you want to do is collect everybody's email. First, start collecting emails. Right, so you can have a database, right? So when you're doing that, so let's just say, for instance, what do we have? 5 conferences now.
Yeah, both in East and West Coast.
So East and West Coast. Now we
got a minute and a half, guys. So you're on TV, but
you're collecting the data. So just on a quick basis, if we can just say we gave out 1,000 resumes and 1,000 headshots, we can say as 40 tons of brand resumes, we've given out over $500,000 worth. With each one worth $500. That's data. We gave out over $500,000 worth of resumes across the world.
Right. Now that makes sense, and that's how you break it down to people that wouldn't quite understand it. What about you, Ree?
So for data analytics, I use Microsoft Clarity and Google Analytics. Those are really helpful tools. They're free. And you can see where people stop on your website. It records their heat maps. You see how long they're on the page. Yeah, if you see everybody's dropping off after this one section, maybe you need to change that section.
There you go.
So making sure that you see where and how your customers interacting with you, tracking the back end, you know, how many people are converting, what's your conversion rate, you know, are you at industry level, are you above it, are you under it, you know, that could happen. But the best thing about all of this is that with online and with, you know, tracking how your retailers are doing, getting those numbers. Some retailers don't like to give you numbers. I don't really know why, but sometimes you just got to pop in and count your products. And so that's really important, is tracking.
10 seconds. I didn't want to cut you off, but you were saying some great stuff. We do have to head out. I'm sorry, guys. We weren't able to get to all my questions. I had one great question, but it's been amazing. Maybe we'll let us run a little bit more than 30, so I will ask this last question. I want y'all each to give me one word that would sum up what people should expect when entering into the cannabis space, whether it's ups, downs, whatever. Give me one. If it's 3 words, that's fine, but one word I feel like that's very interesting.
There's a lot of challenges.
You got your word? I want to say being able to have the ability to pivot.
I like that. Rihanna?
I'd say growth.
Ooh, I like that. You
And
need to grow.
Yeah, and I want to be able to thank some folks before we head out, JoJo. If that's
Oh,
all
we
right.
definitely will. We definitely will. Corvin, you said it would be a lot of challenges.
It's going to be tons of challenges, not a lot.
It's going to be 40 tons.
Hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. It's going to be
Wait, JoJo,
good.
did you hear?
Good.
40 tons of challenges.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said it's going to be 40 tons of challenges. I said the same thing, Jinx.
So as you go through one door, the second door is going to have a whole nother challenge. You're like, you thought you made it.
So let's thank a few people before we get out of here. We went over a little bit. I'm sorry, Brandy. This conversation has just went so well that it's hard to just give me 30 minutes with these great people. So let's everybody peace out. Corvain, L'Oreal, Rihanna, please do your shout outs and where everybody can find you and let's take this thing out.
Yeah, I want to thank the folks at Catalyst Normandy, James and Elliot, owner operator here for allowing us to share this space. You can find our products on Ease platform, eaze.com. So that's how you can get our flower, and then also come to Catalyst Normandy and get our flower and all the rest stuff that we have here. So come on down, and then also check us out at 40tons.co for all of our future endeavors that we are embarking on. So thank you.
Dope.
Gianna here from Happy Hounds. You can find them, and the link is in the bio at Happy Hounds CBD.
Much love, CV.
Y'all watch out for that book. I think Netflix is calling, right?
3S4, I want to thank 3S4. I want to thank JoJo for coming through, man.
Thank you.
And just check us out. Follow me on Corvain Cooper. Follow the story. The story will be out soon. Follow us. Check us out. Go to 40tons.co. See what our events are. 40 Tons brand. And just check us out. So we got some big stuff coming. Just stay tuned.
Much love. It's your boy JoJo Simmons. I want to shout out 40 Tons, Happy Hound CBD. 3 is for Black Cannabis Week. And my guy Mike Press at 24 New York for the drip today. Thank you guys. Black Cannabis Week. We are here. I hope to see some of you guys in person this weekend. Much love, guys.